All right. Are we? I don't think. Oh, there we go. I was like, I don't think we're live yet. There we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
So sorry for the delay. We definitely want to welcome everyone to tonight's conversation, Healing Without Permission. Tonight, we want to have an honest conversation about healing, community restoration, and what it really means to rebuild your life after trauma. So, this conversation is very important to us because so many women are surviving silently while carrying trauma from unhealthy relationships, community violence, church hurt, family dysfunction, trafficking, poverty, instability, survival lifestyles, and then and systems that never fully address the root causes of the pain. And here at Pi, we believe that healing is not just about talking about trauma, but it's about restoring back to being a whole woman, right? And what does that mean? That means emotional healing, leadership development, mentorship, workforce development, accountability, entrepreneurship, sisterhood, and reconnecting women back to a purpose. So tonight is meant to feel like a real conversation. It's not a lecture. We want you to interact with us, join in the comments. Just we are here, we see it all. So if you have anything for us, just type it in and we will respond. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's talk about healing without permission. A lot of women spend years waiting for permission to heal, permission from family, permission from systems, permission from society, and permission from the people who may never fully understand their journey. But healing often begins when you decide that your life matters enough to change it, right? So, Raj, tell me, what does it mean to stop asking for permission to heal?
So, for me, to stop asking for permission to heal, can you hear me? I'm not muted or
Yes,
nothing.
yes,
Okay, perfect. So, it means to stop asking, looks like doing what you need to do, what's best for you without permission, right? Without feeling like, so sometimes for me, that means speaking up when you feel offended or disrespected, or speaking up when you would normally be quiet. And then sometimes that could mean learning how not to speak when you feel offended, or when
Mhm.
you're not feeling like you always have to defend yourself. And for it also could look like learning how to establish boundaries and then force those boundaries when necessary, and even with, and oftentimes especially with, those that are closest to us, uh,
Yeah,
because they're used to us being a certain way. And and when we start healing and we start realizing, like, you know what, this, I don't like this, or this makes me feel a certain type of way, and then you start speaking up about it, or not reacting the same way. If a person tends to be on the other side of that reactionary spectrum, if you will,
yeah,
but learning how to show up differently in a more positive, evolved um, way.
right. I love that. I know, like for me, stop asking for permission is just like remembering that healing is your right. Like it's not something you have to earn from other people.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of women wait for validation or apologies or even acceptance before they allow themselves to grow. And for me, I just chose differently. I said, I'm not going to keep on waiting on somebody else to accept me. I'm going to accept myself, right? So I'm going to choose peace for me. I'm going to choose boundaries for me. I'm going to set those type of things up. And like you said, speaking up or even being quiet when needed to. But just understanding that you don't need anybody else's permission to do so.
Exactly. Or,
Right.
even approval, right?
Yes.
In that same kind of vein, but it's like a little bit different. Like, oh well, because this person, like, if they look at me differently because
Hmm.
now I'm speaking up or not speaking up, because it's, yeah. So I can
Yeah,
definitely.
I totally get that. I love that one thing that Pi teaches about healing and rebuilding your sorry, I love that Pi teaches that healing and rebuilding your life, it happens all together, right? It's not separated. Many women are not just emotionally exhausted, but they are also trying to rebuild financially, professionally, spiritually, and mentally all at the same time. And this is like why you need that support, why you need that community, right? So, what would healing in a community look like? Many communities normalize survival, but not restoration. People learn how to cope, they learn how to function while hurting, they even learn how to keep going while disconnecting from themselves. But what would happen if healing became normal?
Hmm.
Rush.
Mm.
What would healing our community look like if we all focused on healing? What would our community look like if we all focused on healing?
Yeah, so if we all focus on the healing, our community would look a lot less broken, which it now sounds kind of like counter, like obvious. But what I mean by that is that it would consist of a lot less finger pointing at who
Mm-hmm.
is the problem,
Mm-hmm.
because I see and um, I see discussions and conversations on like, oh, black men this and black women this, and we're always like, or they, or always looking at somebody else to be the problem for our problems. Um, but as a community, if we focus more on healing, we would have a lot more people that are self-aware,
Mm-hmm.
that are self-reflective,
Yeah.
oof, girl, and then and accountable, to their
Yes.
problems or to their responses, to their triggers, to their behaviors, to their words. Because regardless of how much somebody else may be at fault, or we may believe that they are at fault in different situations, we can only ever change ourselves.
Right.
And so when we focus on changing other people or trying to heal other people and making everybody else the fault or the blame, it doesn't do anything, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
um, I think, and that's what I think, if we did that, it would by default improve the community.
Absolutely. And I want to piggyback a little bit on the on your topic of accountability, right?
Mhm.
Because if we each take accountability for our own actions and emotions, then we end up communicating better, right? We end up supporting one another,
Mhm.
and we just stop passing that pain on from generation to generation, because when we take accountability for our own action, now we are spreading out more love, and we are walking in confidence instead of survival mode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's funny that, and actually I see we have a comment in the chat that so okay, I think you could answer the last question, but to this question, that I think we would have more compassion, more honesty and support for one another. Healed people would create healthier families, friendships, and communities. Like
Awesome.
that, yes. And to this vein too, it's when you mentioned like the generations, right? I think that
Yes.
that's a big thing that has to be taught early, because actually kind of dealing with that currently.
Right.
Young, like, oh, the reason why I can't is because I can't, or because they, or because this, or because of that. And it's like, well, you know, can you
Yeah.
really, or, so anyways, just, yes, about.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And that is part of what Pi is building, right?
Mhm.
An intergenerational healing ecosystem where women can grow together instead of competing from wounded places, right? And healing must include opportunity. So we all need mentorship, leadership development,
Mhm.
workforce support, healthy networks, accountability, and economic stability.
Mhm.
Healing should lead to somewhere specifically. Okay, let's talk about our personal healing journeys. So, healing looks different to everyone, right?
Mhm.
For some women, it means boundaries. For some, it means accountability. For some, it means therapy or reconnecting spiritually. And for some, it means finally allowing themselves to rest. And for some, it could mean anyone or multiple of those things, or even all of them. So, Rush, tell me, what does healing look like for you and for you personally?
So for me, healing looks like being willing. I think that's a big first keyword. Being willing to sit with, one's feelings, my offenses, my triggers, and understanding where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they show up, acknowledging and becoming aware of the pattern that happened as a result of. So, okay, the trigger, and then what is my typical response or reaction? And then being willing to make the change,
Yeah,
because what good is all the information to not do anything with it, or all the
right.
feedback, I should say. So,
I love that. I
hmm
respect it. For me, healing looks like peace, it looks like self awareness, and truly being able to show up as my authentic self. Because for so long, I was not able to do that. Um, it also looks like instead of reacting, just responding, right? Um, and giving myself grace while I grow and not overwhelming myself with expectations that may overwhelm me. Like, I have to set it for me,
hmm
and I only have to prove myself to me.
hmm That's good.
So, thank you. Thank you. Um, Anybody in the comments have any?
Yes, Asia said, for me, healing looks like setting boundaries, growing in faith, giving herself grace, and learning how to live beyond survival mode.
Awesome.
That it also looks like writing, community, and self reflection.
Absolutely. I love that, Asia. Thank you. One thing that we want women to understand is that growth changes you, right? Sometimes healing changes how you think, who you connect with, what environments you tolerate, and even how you protect your peace. And that is absolutely okay. So many of us have gone through these changes, and we want you to know you're not alone in this.
hmm
And that is why community matters. Community matters.
hmm
Isolation keeps women stuck. A lot of women feel like they have to heal alone or pretend that they're okay when they're not.
hmm
And that's why community is necessary. Raj, tell me why community is necessary for you.
So to me, community is necessary because I recognize that we were never meant to do life alone,
Yes.
um, and that life in community, and that life alone, and that community helps us to see ourselves,
Yeah.
right? Because someone is able to reflect back to us, like, oh, you know, because there's a saying that I've heard, like, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. Right.
Hmm.
So it's like we all acknowledging that we all have blind spots, things that we don't recognize or acknowledge, or just completely unaware of about ourselves. And so, and within community, um, we're we're able to have people hold us to the higher standards of ourselves.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I learned about community is that somebody else's testimony
Mm-hmm.
can help you strengthen your own journey, right? Like you don't have to go, you don't have to stay there. You don't even have to go through it because you already seen or met someone who has been through it and they can help you navigate it so that you don't end up in that same space. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you do end up in that same space, they can help you get out of it, right? It
Yes.
really is about having a safe space to be seen and heard and encouraged and challenged.
Mhm.
Like, right? We have to get outside of ourselves, right? We cannot stay isolated in our struggles.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
And then Miss Enrique, she made two comments. So to this last question, she said accountability happens in community,
absolutely.
restoration happens in community.
Absolutely.
And then, and to the last question we had about what does it mean to heal? Uh,
Hmm.
what does healing look like? She says healing means that I'm allowed to give myself my great. I'm allowed to give grace to my sister as well as myself.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Miss Rika.
And she also just added that strength happens in numbers.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And Pi was built around women being able to say, I've been where you are and I can walk beside you, right? Not above you, not judging you, and not even trying to fix you. We just walk beside you while we rebuild together.
Mhm.
You're not alone in this.
Mhm.
So, Rosh, tell
Mhm.
me, what is your hope for being part of Pi?
So my hope in being part of Pi is to be an example and an inspiration to other women, um, to embrace being different and to be a part of the healing revolution, right?
Mhm.
That our community is in desperate need of.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And what would you want other young women to know about joining Pi?
I would want them to know it's that it's not like any other organization out there,
Right.
because you know the spirit that Pi was born from is not just you know something that just came out of the blue, if you will. That it does come with experience, um,
Absolutely.
and that you won't come in. I mean, excuse me, you won't leave the same way that you come in,
Right.
because we are really about helping each woman to be the fullest version of herself
Hmm.
by connecting with herself.
Right. I know for me, I want these ladies to know that Pi is a sisterhood, 100% sisterhood, right? It's a safe space, it's a space for growth.
Mhm.
Um, if you think you have to like have everything all figured out or you need to know everything to come, you definitely don't, right? All you have to have is just like a willingness to learn, to heal, and to evolve. There is room for every story, for
Mhm.
every voice, and for every journey here at Pi. And that's what makes it so unique
Mhm.
and so awesome. Seriously, Pi is not just a program.
For sure.
It it is absolutely a community where women who are serious about healing, rebuilding, growing, and helping restore our communities together. We are all in this together. We come in different ways with one goal, and that's just to rebuild. And I love it.
Absolutely. So Asia commented, she said that to the last question, that her hope is to continue healing, growing, and helping other women feel seen and supported, and that
Awesome.
Pi to be a space where women feel empowered to lead and rediscover themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, and we do that, right? Which is beautiful. And she also says that you do not have to be perfect or fully healed to join.
Right.
Is a safe space for growth, honesty, sisterhood, and support.
Absolutely. Thank you, Asia.
Thank you.
I agree. Absolutely. Raj, anything else in general you'd like our audience to know about Pine?
Um, just that if you feel like what you see out there isn't what you identify with, isn't how you identify, if you get like a little bit of a kind of a in your stomach whenever you see the representation of black and brown women, then Pi would is the community for you, because we know that's not who we are. um, and we are, we work, right? That's part of the work, is just to represent, if you will, who we
Mm-hmm.
are, because we are powerful, strong, beautiful, intelligent, you know, communal people.
Right.
And yeah, come on home.
Come on home. So, with that being said, we do have an announcement. Pi is launching its first Massachusetts cohort in June of 2026. Woo! That program will support young women survivors, women in transition, and women seeking healing, mentorship, leadership development, and workforce support. So, this service includes an intergenerational mentorship, trauma informed support, workforce development, peer support pathways, entrepreneurship support, leadership development, and wellness centered restoration. Um, so, for our final question, we're going to ask how can organizations connect with Pi for training and partnership opportunities? So, organizations can connect with Pi through social media, through community outreach events, or directly through leadership in our program coordinators, facilitators. So Pi is open to collaborating with organizations that align with empowering, educating, and uplifting communities through training, mentorship, leadership development, and healing centered initiatives. Rosh, you want to jump in on that?
Yes, and you can also visit our website, which I'm going to put into the chat, piepurifications.com, and you can learn so much more about us, as well as there is actually a button towards the towards the bottom of the home screen, just under join the movement. There is an option that says partner with us, and you can apply there, reach out, you'll get connected to Miss Enrique, and see how what you do, or the organization you're with, can collaborate with what we are doing.
Yes. So again, that is piepurifications.com. Go check us out anytime. You see so much lovely information over there. Um, just a reminder that healing is not a weakness,
Mm-mm.
it's preparation.
Mhm.
And when women heal together, communities begin to change. Miss Enrique, before we get out of here, anything you want to add in the comments?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Asia.
Yes. And I just want to add to the ending that also healing is a process. We can't
Absolutely.
expect to be healed overnight and then just like no longer be triggered, no longer have feelings, or feel a type of way about certain things.
Yes.
It is 1000% a process. And so as we continue to evolve and prepare, and just give yourself the grace and give others the grace as you
With
give
others.
yourself the grace to
Yes.
be better together.
Yes. Also remember that it doesn't happen overnight.
Mm, sure won't.
It does not happen overnight. It takes time.
And it gets
Um,
easier.
I've been walking this for a very long time, and I learn something new all the time, and that is what I love about Pi. You just have so much opportunity because the more sisters come around, the more things that you learn. I love that so much. Again, women healing,
Yes.
communities begin to change. We thank you all for joining us tonight and wish you all a great night from
Thank
our hearts to
you.
yours.
Good night.